Hey guys, Hwayi. I hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a movie review. This movie is an action thriller from South Korea, Korean language English subs, released in the year 2013, directed by Jang, and this movie is called Hwayi, a Monster Boy. So Hwayi, a Monster Boy, is about this young boy. He's been kidnapped from a very early age by 5 psychopaths who work in this criminal syndicate. So the 5 psychopaths are going to raise this boy. At first they have him for a ransom, and the ransom fails to get paid. So instead of killing him, they decide that they're going to raise him to be a criminal and become part of this family. So he is locked in a basement from a very early age, and this is where Hwayi, the main character, develops this psychological monster. And this monster comes out every time he is scared. So he is being tormented by this monster for many, many years. And now the movie fast forwards into Hwayi's adolescence. Now Hwayi has made it out of the basement, and now he is learning the ins and outs of this criminal world. And so he starts to, he's shooting the target practice, and this leader of this group, who's a complete psycho, is trying to make him the criminal that he's always wanted him to be. But Hwayi's conscience, and he's not yet a cold-hearted killer, so he's very reluctant to do the things that this group wants him to do. And the only way that that's going to improve, and the only way that Hwayi is going to become a cold-hearted killer, is if the leader can convince Hwayi to pull the trigger and kill somebody. So Hwayi doesn't want this. He just feels that it's the wrong thing to do, and when he develops his conscience, it really gets in the way of the business of these 5 psychos that kidnapped him at an early age, and this provides a lot of problems. So what happens from that point on, whether or not Hwayi can get out of this violent lifestyle and live a life that he deserved, is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Hwayi, a Monster Boy. This movie has the trademarks of everything that makes South Korean cinema as good as it is. You've got great cinematography, you've got great characters, you've got a great story that really captivates you and really makes you interested, you've got great action, the choreography and the action set pieces was fantastic, and you've got a very brisk pace as well. And so everything, it ticks the right boxes as far as production is concerned, and so you really know you're watching a South Korean film. So the best part of Hwayi, a Monster Boy, is that yes, it is a gangster film, but it's very different. So if you like movies like New World, A Bittersweet Life, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, all those great South Korean crime films, the chances are you're going to really like this one, because it does have a different spin. This is not so much a movie about the criminal works of a syndicate. This is more a case of a young boy being corrupted by violence and being the product of what he's been raised in. So it's basically the old saying that if you're raised in a good environment, you turn out to be a good person. If you're raised in a bad environment, you turn out to be a bad person. In this case, Hwayi is raised in a very bad environment, but then as he gets older, he starts to believe that there is a different way of life, and that there is some warmth that is introduced into his life that is trying to pull him over into the good side. And so there's a lot of internal struggle within this character of Hwayi, and that's what makes it as intriguing as it is. I thought the actor who played Hwayi did a fantastic job. He had a lot of emotions to play, and he plays them very authentically. You actually care about Hwayi because you feel that he doesn't like what he's doing, but he wants to please these 5 psychos that are egging him on to do it. And then you've got some characters within this crime family, especially the driver, where you feel that he has a strong sympathy for Hwayi, and you feel that he knows it's wrong, and he wants a good life for Hwayi, but he can't get out of it. So you've got the guys who are supposed to be bad guys, who have shreds, has a little shred of decency in him that makes him very relatable as well. And then you've got the psychopath, the leader, who was fantastic. He actually felt like the father figure to Hwayi, and Hwayi saw him as a father figure. But when Hwayi starts to believe that what they're doing is not right, there is a strong battle of wits. There's a psychological battle between Hwayi and the leader, and I thought that was very intriguing as well. And you're never quite sure what is going to happen to Hwayi. Yes, he is considered the child of this group, but when he starts to become a distraction and preventing this group from achieving their goals, you start to feel maybe Hwayi is in a lot of danger as well. And then you've got another element, which is the psychological monster, and that to me symbolised his conscience, and that every time he was about to do something bad, this conscience held him back. And I thought it was very well done in that you actually see the monster. I thought that was just a manifestation of all the evil and corruption and the guilt and the torment that Hwayi was facing. So as the movie goes along, there is a little bit of a side plot involving a girl. Now I actually thought this was going to be a typical melodramatic love story, but it's not. I actually felt that the girl played a vital role to this film, because that was a symbolisation of warmth in Hwayi's life. And this is what started to tear him apart, is that on one side he wanted to be loyal to his family, on the other side he could see the warmth, he could see a better way of life. life. And so it's that internal struggle, the demons and the angels within him were fighting each other, and I just thought it just tore him up. And that to me was just, it was like a train wreck. It was like basically watching a train wreck, and that to me was something I wasn't expecting. I thought, in typical fashion, South Korea, they tend to get these characters and really draw them out very well. As in most of the cases, it tends to go a little bit too dramatic. Melodrama is a curse of South Korean cinema, but thankfully there's only a tiny bit of melodrama in Hwayi, A Monster Boy, and that doesn't derail the experience. So I really like that. The brutality of the violence is the thing that was the most surprising to me. I thought this was extremely brutal. For South Korean standards, they're not known for their brutality in their films, with the exception of I Saw the Devil. That was actually quite violent, and The Chaser. I actually felt that Hwayi, A Monster Boy, is on par with the violence of I Saw the Devil, just very hard-hitting, and I thought it was necessary to show the hard-hitting violence because that was the corruption of Hwayi's world, and then you've got the very soft world of this girl. So it's the two worlds colliding within this character, and you feel that it's just going to blow up and it's just going to go from bad to worse. So it never really promises a fairy tale ending, and for that I just felt it kept true to the story, it kept true to the mood of this gangster film. It was an ugly film, but at the same time it was a beautiful film in the way that it was actually shot. Some of the action set pieces were fantastic. There were some car chases that were very well choreographed, and there was a shootout towards the end that was fantastic as well. So overall, I just thought this was a great character study of a young boy being lost into corruption in a very corrupted world, and you've got these fascinating characters who play off each other very, very well, and it holds your attention from start to finish. As I said, it does threaten to get a little bit melodramatic towards the end, but it never really goes over. It teeters, but it never goes over the edge, which is something I found very relieving, because this movie is definitely one I would highly recommend to anyone out there who is a fan of crime films from South Korea. This is definitely one that has gone under the radar, but I'm so glad I saw it, and as a result of that, I'm going to give Hwayi, A Monster Boy, 4 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.